We continue our trip to Miller Park Zoo in Bloomington, Illinois. Come inside. We'll show you 3 special exhibits as we end the season of the Paw Report. Stay with us.
The Castle in Mattoon, Illinois, a gaming bar serving the Mattoon area since 1929. Full bar, draft beer, allocated bourbons, rotating daily specials, APA pool leagues, darts, and more. Monthly craft cocktail nights, open mic nights, and karaoke weekly. The Castle's lineup of concerts and events are on their Facebook.
The Paw Report on WEIU is supported by Rural King, America's farm and home store, livestock feed, farm equipment, pet supplies, and more. You can find your store and more information regarding Rural King at ruralking.com.
Dave's Decorating Center is a proud supporter of the Paw Report on WEIU. Dave's Decorating Center features the Mohawk Smart Strand Silk Forever Clean Carpet. Dave's Decorating Center, authorized Mohawk Color Center in Charleston.
As we promised, we are still here at the Miller Park Zoo in Bloomington, Illinois. If you missed our last episode, make sure that you check it out online because it tells you all about the Park Zoo. But now we are checking out some various exhibits at the zoo, and Director Jay Pratte is back with us, and woo!
One of our friends here in the Rainforest Aviary is right behind us. This is the experience you get. You get the sound, you get the water, you get the birds. We also, here in the aviary, we have our primate habitats, and we have just recently opened our brand new sloth habitat with our girl Taco.
Oh, okay, so you really feel like you're in the rainforest here, obviously.
Yes. Right?
So take us through what people will experience. They're obviously watching on TV, but what will they experience when they come through here?
So this is probably one of our most popular habitats, and it's also year-round. When you walk in and you enter the aviary at first, like you get to see, like it's the sound. There's a different temperature. It's humid. It feels very much like you've walked into a different world. And then when the waterfall is going, the sound is there, and a few times a day, it is on a schedule. There's actually a rainforest experience where the water will come down, and you're hopefully under a plant or somewhere when it does. And so you can actually get the whole experience. But we do have a variety of birds from different areas in here. We had one joining behind us. There are some little ground wood partridges. There are several different species flying through here that our junior zookeepers or our rainforest attendants can help people identify. We have our different species of primates that are in here. There are actually 3 different species. We have some agoutis and, of course, the sloth. And as you weave your way through, over the bridge, under the plants, it is just that immersive experience that you would hope for to really be able to take you somewhere else. And it's like this whether it's 95 degrees out or minus 35 degrees out. It's a great place to be.
Well, the design features in here are breathtaking, really. So a lot of thought went into whatever animals you were bringing in here to create a habitat that would fit them.
Yep. And there's a lot of challenges with that because not every bird loves every other type of bird, and there's different sorts of challenges with the species you bring in. And then there's the ones that are important because they're recommended by the different AZA conservation programs. And so we try to manage all those things to create this great experience and make sure that everybody can get along in here.
What about care for all the different species that are in here? Again, going back to the team effort, which you talked about in our first episode, takes a team to maybe keep this rainforest going in here.
And so we have, the zoo currently is we've subdivided up into about 6 different areas. And so each area has a primary caregiver, a primary zookeeper that's a full-time union keeper that they own the area. So they think about long-term planning, they monitor the health of each animal, they come up with all of the records and everything they need to be done, training and enrichment guides, food and nutrition, daily behavioral reports. And then we also have all of our other team members who will help with the daily care. So they might be assigned to that area to help out, and that's everything. Feeding, cleaning, live checks, veterinary assistance like we talked about, doing behavioral observations, reproductive observations. There's so much involved, and we bring in volunteers As a walk-through aviary, USDA actually does require that there's an attendant just for animal safety and for both human and animal well-being. And so as long as the rainforest is open, there's always someone in here who can answer questions or guide people or be like, hold on a minute, there's wood partridge running across the path. Let's give them a little bit of a minute. And it really is. It's the whole team thing once again here.
Well, the experience too is that you have a lot of signage and materials around for people to read. Talk about that. So you don't necessarily have to be an expert at knowing what these animals are.
Absolutely not. Actually, one of the things we do when you come into the rainforest, there are like some laminated, obviously with the wet, sheets that will identify the different types of birds, so you can go on your own bird watching experience while you're walking through the rainforest. You can spend as much time as you want, like looking at the different animals, and we're always going to, and while we're upgrading them across the zoo, we always have the informational graphics that we're also trying to tie to the website. So if you want to learn more about the animals by reading and observing, that information will be there, or you can ask one of our helpful folks in here who have learned so much about the animals over the years.
I don't want to put you on the spot, Jay.
Uh-oh.
How many countries are represented by animals that are in here?
Oh, I
I
can't
put you on
even.
the spot,
You
didn't
did.
I?
Well, because the thing is, we have like, well, we also will represent regions. Like we've got some South
Exactly,
America. South
yes.
America is a big part of this. I think for the most part, but when you get Central South America, there's so many different kind of regions, and a lot of the birds, or reptiles, might be found in multiple locations. Or, we say sloth, but we have Linnaeus two-toed sloth. There are several different species of sloth that are found all the way through Central and South America. So our hope in here is that it's more people focusing on the diversity of the rainforest and the feel and understanding from whether it's the little amphibian habitats, everything that goes through it for birds, for mammals, the whole thing. Like it takes everything to create an ecosystem like this, not just the people, but all of the life.
So when we visit the sloth, which is kind of to my left,
Yep.
Obviously there's enclosures that will separate you, but there are some, like here, that it's very personal with the animals. Can you talk about what people will experience when they come in here in that angle of it?
So a lot of that is containment, safety for the animals, and safety for people. So for example, with primates, in an accredited facility, you're not likely most times going to run into many places that have like a walk-through primate aviary, because there's potential just, kind of zoonotic disease concerns and risks from people to animals, but also from animals to people. And while we manage that, and we want to keep people safe, monkeys bite. So when you're on a cruise or whatever else, don't go pet a monkey. Monkeys bite, and nobody wants to get bit by a monkey. So we want to keep everyone safe, but have the animals also feel safe. So in some of the places there are barriers. They might be glass, they might be the new steel mesh we put up for the sloth. They let air flow through, but people can still experience and see how the animals react in the environment and react to them. Or there's going to be little wood partridge and little ground birds that run across. Our little friend that joined us might be right beside your head. Or you can just sit and take a break under the little canopy right behind us and look at the different reptiles or amphibians that are there. Take it all in. We will have people come in just for that experience where they request, can I come in and sit and do art in here for a couple of hours? Can I just relax? And we love it. We love that people really want to come in because it's so unique here where we are.
Well, we love the zoo, and we are not done yet. So do not leave the Paw Report, because we're going to leave the rainforest exhibit, and we're going to check out another place at the park. Thank you, Jay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Come along with us. Well, we've picked up the gear and we've moved to another location here at Miller Park Zoo in Bloomington. We have a new face joining the program. Julia Benzel joins us, and we are here at the Katofer building with a lot of history and a lot of animals. Thank you so much for joining us, for taking some time away from your normal routine to visit with us. So we're at the Katofer building.
We are.
It's a building with a lot of history.
A lot of history. This was actually our original zoo. So when you come out and you come to the Katofer building, you can imagine showing up and this being the only zoo, was just this building.
Wow. So back in the 1800s, this building, which is so beautifully structured, it houses several animals. So we, I think it would probably be best if we talk about
These two?
these two characters behind us. So let's do that
So
first.
they are characters. This is Samwise and Frodo, Sammy and Frodo. They are our Mueller's gibbons, and they're the only apes that we have here on grounds. So they're very intelligent, and they are really fun to give enrichment to and watch. They're very active. They do something called brachiating, which is like doing the monkey bars. So Frodo glides through this exhibit. It's beautiful.
He just did that.
Did he?
Is that Frodo there on
That's
the bottom?
Frodo. So he'll go through up on the top and it'll look like he's doing the monkey bars very quickly, but gibbons are known for this way of movement.
I think he's trying to find a treat.
He
So they get
is.
treats. They get treats throughout the day.
So right now what they got was browse with their biscuits for the day. So they get a biscuit diet that has all the good things they need. It's just like us having a balanced cereal in the morning. So all of our animals we actually have pelleted diets for, and then the other stuff is just bonus. So fruits, veggies, they could technically survive on just what they have in their pelleted diet, but we like to give them those greens as well.
Okay, so when we come in the Katofer building, we immediately walk inside and there's multiple enclosures.
Yeah.
Take us around, give us a tour of the rest of the building.
Sure, so when you walk in, you'll actually see the mirror of the exhibits we're in front of right now. Those habitats inside are the tiger and then the Mueller's gibbons. Next to them is our snow leopard sage, and then our Francois langurs. So that's the big wall of habitats. As you turn around, you'll see our bats. So we have a full male colony of bats in the corner as you turn around, and then we have something called a pygmy slow loris. It's a venomous mammal, one of the only venomous mammals, and they are only venomous when they lick a secretion from their elbow armpit area, and then they can have a venomous bite that actually will deteriorate someone's skin.
Oh my.
I know.
Scary.
Wild.
Wild.
We have not had any encounters like that, but it is very cool that we have one of the only venomous mammals. We have a prehensile-tailed skink, which is the largest species of skink. And prehensile means he can hold onto the branches by his tail, so he could like hang if he wanted to. And then we have a 3-banded armadillo named Lolo, and we have an artifact cabinet in there right now where you can see bones from different animals. We have different jaws in there so you can see a comparison, and our tiger shipment crate so you can see what he would travel in if he had a vet exam.
Wow.
And you can actually get in it if you're small enough. You can crawl in there.
That's wild. So many interactive things here at the zoo for people to obviously see, view, read. What makes this enclosure so special? I mean, you just light up when you talk about these animals. I know it's your passion and your love, but what makes this so special?
So this building specifically is our history, right? This zoo raised me, it raised a ton of other staff members that we have here, and this building is where it all started. So it's gone through a lot of changes, but it still has that structure, that shell, that is the reason why we're all here. So I do light up because I love this building. It's why we get to have everything.
You were a junior zookeeper.
I was.
Tell us, you know, I probably should have started off with this, but give us a little nugget of your history. And this zoo is kind of your life. You grew up with it.
I did. So I started as a junior zookeeper in 6th grade, and I grew up all the way through the program. At the end of the program, I had experience doing keeper duties, but my last year, one of the education techs was sick, and the woman in charge of the program said, "Everyone gets a program today." And I said, "Except me," right? I said I wasn't going to do programs. And she said, "No, you can just do the last one." And I was like, "Okay." And then I went up on stage and I fell in love with it. So any fear I had of public speaking went away as soon as I was handling a ball python, because I had something that I cared about and I was enthusiastic about in my hands to talk about. And so after that, she hired me on to be a rec instructor here. So I taught camps and classes every summer as I got my biology degree. And then once I graduated, I became a part-time zookeeper here. I also worked at Peoria Zoo and Wildlife Prairie Park and Sugar Grove Nature Center. And then in 2021, I had the opportunity to come back as a full-time keeper. I was the swing keeper here, so
And
I was working with these animals. Yeah. And that was the dream, right? To work with the code red animals. So I got to be with Rojo the tiger and Sage the snow leopard and all of these animals, as well as Sally the alligator. But as a swing keeper, you work all of the areas. So I got experience working everyone's relief weekend. And then in 2023, my position opened up as a zoo education manager. I applied for it, and now I get to run the program
in front
that
of the
I
camera.
started. Yes, exactly.
So here at the Katofer building, visitors, and we've got lots of them here today, they can see two sides of an enclosure. We're obviously outside, but they can see the animals inside. Do they spend more time in or out? I guess it just depends on the season, maybe in Illinois.
The season, exactly. So as it gets darker, Sammy behind us, she decides she wants to go inside. It's time for bed. But Frodo's not always the same. They have choice and control here. Our biggest part of our animals' lives is letting them choose what they do. Rojo has access to 3 places right now because we don't want to force him into having to be outside on habitat or inside on habitat. He actually has a holding area in the back that he can go if he doesn't want anyone to see him. So they can rotate through and have that choice.
Do they sense, I mean, obviously they can see, but how do they interact with people? Do they put on a show? Do they prance around? Do they do different things when they know people are watching them?
I'd say it really depends on the animal.
Yeah.
Sage, our snow leopard, will interact with guests. He comes up, he stalks, he is getting really close. And a lot of times Rojo really just goes about his day and doesn't really mind who is around. So it just depends on the individual.
Well, don't go anywhere because we have another enclosure that we're going to check out here on the Paw Report. So stay with us. Again, we're going to trek down the sidewalk here at Miller Park Zoo, and we're going to show you yet another enclosure here on this beautiful property, Miller Park Zoo. Stay with us. Well, now we have moved to the South America habitat, and Julia is back extraordinaire to tell us all about the habitat South America. We're outside again, hot, probably weather that they like, the animals that are in this exhibit. Tell us all about it.
Sure. So when you first walk up, you'll see our 2 Galapagos tortoises, Gala and Pagos. See how we got there? I know.
Yes.
You can actually tell them apart by their scoots. The back of their shells are different, so we say Galapagos. So Pagos is actually by us right now, and his scoots flare up on the back, so we can tell them apart just by looking at him. These 2 are actually 33 years old. They hatched in 1992, and they are brothers, so they are from the same clutch. And they can live well into their hundreds. So tortoises are some of the longest living animals, and it's really incredible to see that their adaptations have just gotten them as far as they have. As you go around the rest of the habitats that we have here, you'll see our giant anteaters, and then you'll see our Chilean pudu, which are a tiny deer species.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Now, I know, brothers of the humankind can sometimes not get along. These guys, do they get along okay? How do they interact with each other?
They get along okay. They have several piles of food when you come out and see. They'll forage around. But Galapagos tortoises as males will, we'll say, argue for territories.
Yes.
But the way they win is whoever stretches their neck the tallest, that's the winner.
You're kidding.
No, that's really their
And then the other one
adaptation.
kind of scurries off. Well, not scurries, but kind of gently walks back. And
sure, in the wild they
does
could
their
tussle
thing.
a little, but it is who is the tallest is the most dominant.
Any funny stories about these 2? I mean, you've been here quite a long time running around the zoo. Any funny things that you remember about these 2?
Funny, I don't know, but their favorite thing is hibiscus flowers. So he'll walk across the yard if he sees you with a bright hibiscus flower. And you don't think they can move that quickly, but he can move faster than that. So watching them get all the way up and get so excited. We also do a tortoise feeding, and they open their mouths so wide and get this sweet potato mush mouth of glory, really. And they're pretty funny when you look at them like that.
Is that their diet? So veggies, plant
Tortoises,
life?
Yes. So we consider them herbivores, but they can be semi-opportunistic in the wild. If they're hungry, they'll eat carrion. So really just about anything that they can find, they'll eat if they have to.
Let's mosey on to the anteater,
Okay.
Anteaters enclosure, because that's pretty neat. You've got a new little one you're
have
showing off.
Yes, we have a new little one right now. I will refer to her as she just because it's been flowing out, but we do not know the gender, so I'm not giving away any trade secrets right now. Baby right now is holding on to Mom Chili's back, and she was born on June 16th overnight, and will hold on to Mom's back for about a year. And so they are separate from Arnaud, Dad, right now, and they are doing really well. We're very excited about it. There are only 90 anteaters as of January in the facilities in AZA right now. So this is a really important birth, and this is one of our biggest conservation efforts that we do outside of the zoo. So we're part of something called Anteaters and Highways, and we sponsor an anteater. Her name is Jane, and she has a tracker on her, and it tracks the impact of highways on the anteaters in Brazil.
You know, I have to ask the burning question.
Sure.
Anteaters, do they eat
Anteaters.
ants?
They eat ants.
They do
have
eat ants.
a 2-foot long tongue and no teeth. So it's like a sucking action where they pull up ants. They also have very long claws. So when they're walking, they're actually knuckle walking. And then they have these long claws that they can rip open mounds with. It's also one of their defensive if they need to. They can stand up 6 feet tall, and that's a little intimidating. So nothing really is going to mess with that if they're barreled down by those claws and that tall of an animal. My favorite thing about them is the way their tongue is curled up in their mouth. So a lot of people think butterfly proboscis, it's 2 feet, right? It has to fit in there somehow, but it's not. It's accordion style, zigzag back and forth, and it just whoop, comes out.
So what other things do they eat besides insects? Primarily insects?
Primarily insects, but ours are getting a variety of food. They actually love hard-boiled eggs and avocados.
That's
A
an
very
interesting
balanced breakfast.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
exactly. Yes.
Okay, so next to the anteaters, we have
Our Chilean pudu, so the smallest species of Chilean deer that hang out together, and we have Puddles and Nico.
Oh, and they all roam together and they all enjoy the environment. Now, what do you do for the animals, South American, always hot, in our very cold winters here in Illinois? How do they acclimate themselves to that?
They don't. We
Oh,
have an
they
indoor
don't.
holding building. So this building behind us is heated for them in the winter. So they come in and they hunker down if they need to. They all have different temperature variables. So being in Illinois, they can get a little cooler. So even though it's cooler than South America, they're still okay. There are days where it gets cool there. But during the middle of winter, they are inside. We have a tortoise viewing window so you can come see the boys, but everyone else hangs out inside until it's warm enough for them to come out.
I was just going to say, the great thing about this zoo is that people in the major exhibits can go inside and outside to really get up and close and personal with the animals. So when they go into the buildings, again, like the others, there's places where they can read and understand the animals that they're viewing, correct?
Exactly. So, and that's something that we have been moving forward with is signs on exhibits. Like the tiger habitat has one that says he's a geriatric tiger and he might not be out today, and just explaining to people why we do what we do and where the animals might be.
As we wrap up our segments here at Miller Park Zoo, what is your favorite memory, story, opportunity for guests that you can share with us as we leave the facility today?
My favorite, that's a hard one.
I know it's a hard one. I have to put you on the spot because you know so
Okay.
much about all the animals.
Okay, well I have two.
Okay.
If I can quickly do that.
Absolutely.
I have this memory ingrained in my head of the day after I got my acceptance letter for the Junior Zookeeper program. And I'm in our Wallaby walkabout, and I have a shirt on that says I'm with the band, and all of the macropods are behind me. And then when I truly decided that this is what I was going to do was the day that I got to bottle feed the snow leopard cubs that we had. So since then I was hooked. How can you not be?
Well, we're hooked. The Paw Report crew is definitely hooked on the hospitality of you and Director Jay Pratt, and we couldn't thank you enough for allowing us to spend the day here at the zoo. A very hot day, nonetheless, but a very wonderful day here at the zoo.
Thank you so much for coming.
And we appreciate our viewers of the Paw Report for traveling along with us to Bloomington, Illinois to visit the beautiful grounds of Miller Park Zoo. Until next time, I'm your host, Kelly Goodwin.
Dave's Decorating Center is a proud supporter of the Paw Report on WEIU. Dave's Decorating Center features the Mohawk Smart Strand Silk Forever Clean Carpet. Dave's Decorating Center, authorized Mohawk Color Center in Charleston.
The Paw Report on WEIU is supported by Rural King, America's farm and home store, livestock feed, farm equipment, pet supplies, and more. You can find your store and more information regarding Rural King at ruralking.com.
The Castle in Mattoon, Illinois, a gaming bar serving the Mattoon area since 1929. Full bar, draft beer, allocated bourbons, rotating daily specials, APA pool leagues, darts, and more. Monthly craft cocktail nights, open mic nights, and karaoke weekly. The Castle's lineup of concerts and events are on their Facebook.